world is both an honorable and daunting challenge that America's farmers and ranchers face. Through their ingenuity, passion, and sheer force, these farmers and ranchers have always found a safe and reliable way to provide the nutrients for a growing world. Just as these farmers and ranchers are key to feeding the world, their cooperatives are a significant part of the food chain. Agricultural cooperatives began appearing in Nebraska in the early 1900s. However, the cooperative movement began much earlier elsewhere in the United States. The oldest cooperative in the country is a mutual insurance company that was organized by Benjamin Franklin. In organizing the company, Franklin said, "Every man might help another without any disservice to himself." Nebraska's farmers and ranchers learned early on that cooperation is an efficient and effective way of completing significant challenges, and that spirit remains a driving principle of cooperatives today. As you drive across Nebraska, the sight of grain elevators in nearly every small community reminds you of the critical role that Nebraska plays in feeding the world. Just as Nebraska is important for easing global hunger, farmer-owned cooperatives are important to Nebraska's agriculture. Let's take a closer look at how a cooperative differs from other business models.
In our economy, there are lots of ways of forming a business. There are proprietorships and partnerships and corporations, and cooperatives are a special kind of corporation. But it's distinct from other kinds of corporations in that its users, like its customers or its employees or its suppliers, they own the company, they get the benefits from working with the company, and they help make the policy decisions in the company. And the users who do those three things are called members of a cooperative. In agriculture, we observe cooperatives competing successfully with other types of businesses to market or purchase goods on behalf of their members or to offer important services that affect the member or their cooperative's operations. And chances are, members of the public benefit from cooperatives all the time. They're important partners in our economy's ability to produce food, clothing, housing, lots of things for our citizens. And they also provide significant employment in our communities, as well as contributing to the leadership and philanthropy of our communities. So for these reasons, cooperatives are important parts of our community and should be understood. When a cooperative competes successfully in the marketplace, it can generate profit. That's the difference between the revenues and the costs that the cooperative has, and members have an opportunity to share in those earnings in proportion to their use of the cooperative. For instance, if you had done 5% of the sales of the cooperative, you would receive 5% of the profits. And the portions of the profits that you would get are called patronage refunds. Members get a check for their profit or their portion of the earnings, or they can agree to let the cooperative withhold some of it on their behalf so that the cooperative has enough capital to purchase the assets that they need to do their operations. And the timing for that payment is a decision made by the cooperative's board of directors. Agreeing to invest patronage refunds is one way members keep the cooperative financially healthy, and the fruits of that investment ultimately improve the members' financial welfare by having a healthy cooperative transfer its earnings to them. It also helps the cooperative make this a good value to the member, and the co-op has a role in making sure that happens. The cooperative management team works together with the members to have actively trained employees who know the members' needs and attract the members' business over time. So patronage then becomes the fruit of that good communication that provides the investment and the welfare that the members want. Well, if you think about how a business works, the cooperative gets its money, the capital that it needs, from either loans from banks or from investments from the members. Now, banks get their money back from regular payments on a loan, but the co-op has to make two decisions for the members' money: how fast it should come in and how fast to give it back. So unlike the investments that you might make into a publicly traded company, only the board of directors decides when you get your money back. And the key principle that they use is to decide what are the interests of the members today. So maybe you're a young member who's going to use the cooperative a lot for a long period of time. Or maybe you're a relatively old member of the cooperative who's about to stop using the cooperative. It's important for the management, the board of directors, and the membership to talk with each other often about what they think the interests in the cooperative are going to be, and that makes it easier for the management and board to decide on a strategy. Now, once they decide on a strategy, the board and the cooperative need that investment from the membership, and they expect it to come from the members. But when members are no longer associated with a cooperative or don't have much of an interest in it anymore, the board repays that investment. That's the process of equity redemption. And the length of time they may have to wait can be very short to a few years, and the amount of money they may get back depends on how well the cooperative is doing financially. So ultimately, the ability of the cooperative to make good equity investment and equity redemption decisions depends on members and management and the board talking to each other frequently about their needs and expectations for the cooperative.
Today's cooperatives definitely look a lot different than they looked 30, 40, 50 years ago. Co-ops have done a really good job of building assets to provide the speed and space for today's farmers. The cooperatives provide opportunities for farmers to reach the global market, whether that be through shuttle loaders or offload of dry fertilizer. We're having opportunities presented to us every day that were not possible 30, 40, and 50 years ago.
One of the biggest values that I have seen working with the co-op is the leadership opportunities that they give us. They take us to seminars, they help us network with other professionals who are the same age as us, as well as farmers who are doing the same thing, and just create a network so that we can do our jobs better. We have the tools to gain all the resources that we need, and we know who the right avenues are to be better farmers.
It was a long road to get to where we are today, but doing business with our local cooperative gave me the peace of mind of doing business with a trusted company of people that I know and interact with. They live in our communities, their children go to our schools. These are not corporate people, they are people within our communities that we see on a daily and weekly basis.
Cooperatives also provide significant impact in the rural communities of our state. Let's take a look at a few examples.
Many cooperatives in Nebraska are the employer of choice in our small communities. We offer opportunities in IT, social networking, programming. We offer opportunities in precision ag and accounting, administration, human resources, agronomy, grain, energy, and we have employ many truck drivers. We offer wonderful retirement packages, benefit packages, competitive salaries, cross-training, and your ability to excel in your career. So the cooperatives have come a long way and advanced their opportunities for employees. The old adage that you just go to a co-op and shovel grain is long gone. We are very advanced and offer many opportunities for people.
I decided to seek an internship with a cooperative because they came to my school and I realized that there were a lot of different job opportunities within a co-op, and so I decided to try it out to see if there would be something that I was interested in. My favorite thing about being an intern is I get to see a lot of different aspects of the company and meet a lot of new people, and there's never a boring day because I'm always doing something different. This internship will help me prepare for my career because I get to tag along with people every day and actually see what they do and actually help them out, and so I'm better prepared of what I'll have to do in a job, and I'm getting a head start basically because I know what skills I need to do a certain job.
I chose to take my internship with Frontier Co-op because it's really diversified and it's not just seed, it's not just one part. Co-ops usually have everything involved in ag, so they have feed, fuel, all the inputs for farmers, and that's kind of why I chose, because it's very diversified. I learned that there's a lot more to it than just selling a customer seed and his inputs. co-op's actually completely involved with the farming operation. They really help everybody start from the bottom all the way to the finished product, and that's definitely one of the nice things about the co-op. It's going to help me tremendously in my career. Definitely helped me as to see what co-ops are. Before I went on this internship, I didn't see myself working for a co-op full-time afterwards, and now I can definitely see myself working full-time for a co-op.
I decided to intern with the Frontier Co-op because my brother had interned the year before, and I remember him coming home all the time and telling me how much he learned and how much he loved doing it. I thought maybe that'd be something I'd be interested in, and it's been everything. It's everything he talked about it being, and I've enjoyed it so far, and it's been a great experience. There was always new things that were always coming up that I never thought I knew about, and I grew up on a farm all my life, so I figured coming into the internship I knew I was gonna know what Frontier was all about, and there's just way more to it than I ever could have thought. My career goals are, I'm an Ag Econ major at the University of Nebraska Lincoln right now, and it's one of those things that keeps seeming to change all the time, and working at Frontier kind of has let me see all the different aspects that go into agriculture, and knowing what I like and what I want to do, what I don't like, and you basically get it all here at Frontier, so I'm starting to see the things that I do want to do and things I kind of want to stay away from, so that's where it's helped me out the most there, I would say.
We invested over $15,000 in the FFA throughout the communities. We give about $30,000 to the food bank, and we also did an additional $15,000 to the backpack program that our employees were involved in. So that went to 14 counties, probably within 30 communities. So just those alone, we put about $45,000, $50,000 back into those communities. And we've invested $100 and some million the last 3 years in a train loader and building an anhydrous plant in Geneva, Nebraska, small town again. So we're again invest $50 million in these small towns, and you just don't see anybody else doing that. And the co-ops continue to do that. I think being part of the system for so many years, you grow up doing that, and you continue. You just hope that as we move forward, that the next generation will do the same to keep everything local if we can.
Nebraska's farmer-owned cooperatives have changed dramatically over the years in response to the needs of the farmers and ranchers who own the cooperatives. Perhaps the biggest change has been in the number of cooperatives statewide. Cooperatives have merged to be able to meet the needs of today's capital-intensive agriculture. By coming together, cooperatives are able to provide the grain storage, agronomy services, shipping facilities, and new technologies that farmers need in their operations. Cooperatives continually evolve to meet the ever-changing needs of their members. Will feeding the world in the future be an enormous challenge? Absolutely. However, with innovation, dedication, and plain old hard work, farmers and ranchers of the future will meet that challenge with the help of their cooperatives.